Hey, what's up guys, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have got a mammoth book haul for you. If you find yourself enjoying this video, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out, and if you're new here and would like to see more of me, then please subscribe. Two things just before we get started. One, I've been gone a very long time. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, if you don't, would recommend, but if you do, you'll know that I've just been having a really rough time of things. Life has been too much recently, and yeah, my mental health has gone down the toilet. Things have been really bad in a lot of ways, and I haven't had really time to make content, but when I have had time I just haven't had the inclination or the creativity. Yeah, life has been hard, and but hopefully things will be on the up content wise. We're trying to adjust my schedule at work to make things a bit more manageable for me and to give me a little more time to focus on doing these things that actually really bring me joy and like really improve my mental health, etc. Also, just a little update for you guys, I got married. That's been the bright spot in all of the bad. I'm so happy about that one thing. Yeah, I'm very happy to be married. And then the second thing is that I have to say a very big thank you to the lovely folks at Jonathan Ball, because every book in this video bar 2 were gifted by them. So yeah, this isn't sponsored. I wasn't like asked or expected to make this video. I was just like, hey, I'm gonna do a book haul because I've got a lot of books in recently, and then I piled them up and I was like, these are all from Jonathan Ball. So I mean, I had to put the disclaimer in that they were gifted anyway, and also thanks, because so many books. They've just been like super generous with their PR packages to me lately. I've got 3 in the last month, which is pretty much unheard of for me. I don't get them that frequently, so it's been a very fun time. So I do have a lot of books, and I'm just gonna get into them. First up, we have a couple that were gifted to me by Jonathan Ball, but not by their PR department. I actually got them at work from our Jonathan Ball children's rep. So thank you so much, V, if you watch this. I'm so excited about these. And first up, we have Jo by Kathleen Gross, which is a graphic novel Little Women adaptation. I have never read Little Women, and to be honest, I don't have that much interest in doing so. It doesn't really seem like it would be my kind of book. I kind of have an interest in watching the film. Yeah, I don't have that much interest in reading Little Women as a whole. However, as a graphic novel, it's going to be nice and quick, and also, you know, everything, like graphic novels just make everything more exciting. So this seems to be a modern adaptation. And in addition to that, it's all like pretty and colourful and exciting and style. I really like the art style. So I think that if there were to be a format that I would be able to digest and enjoy Little Women, it would be this. So this, I'm assuming, focuses on Jo. She joins the school newspaper, and it seems to have an LGBTQ+ slant to it. So I am quite looking forward to this. I think it will be... It also might be a good tester to see if I'm actually interested in reading Little Women. Also, the thing that really impresses me about it is this is an arc, but it's still full colour, which doesn't often happen. Like, all the graphic novel arcs that I've got before have been black and white with maybe a couple of pages of colour, but generally they're black and white. Like, I was so impressed that they spent that much money to print the arcs in colour. Yeah, I'm keen for this one. It looks real cute, and I am always happy to add some graphic novels to my collection because I just don't have enough, and sometimes you just want a cute graphic novel. Then also from our Jonathan Ball children's rep, we have Luna Ray Is Not Alone by Hayley Webster. This is a middle grade story about a girl who has just moved house and her life feels kind of very turned upside down, and the one thing that she feels will help her feel like more stable and feel like her life is somewhat normal again is to enter this baking competition with her mum, but her mum's disappeared. It's described as for fans of Jacqueline Wilson, so I was like, yep, here for this. I think this will just be a quick, somewhat heartwarming, but also quite sad and probably very emotional read. and I am quite looking forward to it. Then we have 2 Christmas books! Verishka knows me, clearly. I mean, she always gives me good stuff, but like... Okay, we're gonna start with this one, The Great Reindeer Disaster. This sounds fantastic. We have a miniature reindeer who falls down a chimney and ends up in this family's house. He then ends up whisking them away, I think, to the North Pole? Yeah, okay, no, not the North Pole, Yule 1, which is the real home of Father Christmas. But the festive season is in danger because a rogue reindeer has teamed up with the evil Krampus to sabotage everything. Percy, who is our miniature reindeer, and his new friends have to save Christmas. I was wondering what I was going to read on Christmas Day. Also, this is going to have so many illustrations. There's this little star with a reindeer throughout, which I'm assuming is where illustrations are going to go in the finished copy. But as I was flipping through, I did see 1 or 2 like finished illustrations. I mean, it's gonna be such a good time. I'm so excited. Then again, Verishka just knows me. We have Tinsel by Sibylle Pounder. This is a feminist Christmas story, and it follows Blanche Claus and the idea that actually we got the Christmas story all wrong, and that Mrs. Claus is the one who flies around the world, who gives people presents, who brings people joy. I'm so excited for it. I think it's going to be magical. As Christmas, feminism, all round, big fan. Then she also gifted me Starfell, Willow Moss and the Forgotten Tale, which is book 2 in the Starfell series by Dominique Valente, who I found out just the other day when I was looking at the dust jacket that she was born and grew up in South Africa, which is pretty cool. This means that I can fulfill my quota of reading local fiction by reading this, which is always nice. Also, I just want to take this dust jacket off for a second. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I've never seen it before because we normally get the trade paperbacks of these books in South Africa, but it is absolutely stunning. So I don't really know too much about what this one's about, but I don't want to give you spoilers anyway, so I shall tell you what the first Starfell book is about. We follow Willow Moss, who is a member of a family of witches, and they all have their like unique little powers that are very cool and, you know, very helpful. But Willow's power is finding lost things, and her family all kind of make fun of her for it, and they'll be like, oh Willow, can you help me find like my lost sock, or like all these menial little things that don't really matter. They'll make her use her power for and just act like it's not really a useful power. That is until the Grand Head Witch comes along and says that she needs Willow's help because last Tuesday has gone missing, and if they don't find last Tuesday before next Tuesday rolls around, everything that happened last Tuesday will cease to have happened, and she needs Willow to help her find the lost day. I'm very, very excited to get to this one as well. These books just seem so wonderful and delightful and charming. Onto the books that have been gifted to me by their PR department. We have Dragon Mountain by Katie and Kevin Sang. We love a writing couple. And this follows Billy? Yeah, Billy Chan, who is 12 years old, and his parents have sent him to a summer camp in China called Camp Dragon, and he's not keen. He just wishes that he could spend the summer like chilling with his friends, not hanging out with complete strangers, until he and his new camp friends stumble across the entrance to a secret mountain and discover that there is a whole little council, find 4 real-life warrior dragons inside, and they've been waiting for Billy. Sounds so good. We love a didn't realise I was magical and important trope, and we love dragons, so super excited for this one. Next up we have Clock of Stars by Francesca Gibbons, and not gonna lie, 95% of the reason that I was interested in this book and that I requested this book is that it's illustrated by Chris Riddell. He is one of my all-time favourite illustrators. I just adore him. I love his work so much, and I think that he is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I mostly honestly wanted this for the illustrations. But then also, I have been a fan of Chris Riddell's work for long enough to know that he tends to illustrate the sort of stories that I like as well, so chances are good that if he's illustrated something, it is going to be the sort of book that I'd like, as made evident by the fact that he and Neil Gaiman are an iconic duo. So this sounds so magical. I'm just going to read the back for you. Imogen and Marie follow a silver moth through a door in a tree and find themselves trapped in a magical kingdom where no one behaves as they should. The sisters must move fast to escape the strange monsters that come out after dark. Longing to return home, they find help from a spoiled prince, a dancing bear, and even the stars above. It sounds so magical. This to me sounds like it's going to be on par with like a Nevermore as something that I truly believe should become a children's classic. So I have really high hopes for this, and I think it's going to be something very special, and I'm very excited to read it. And then this is the last of the like kids and YA books that arrived, and let me just tell you, I legitimately squealed when I opened the package that this book came in. I opened it up and this was the first book that I saw, and I kid you not, I squealed. And that is The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. I read The Red Scrolls of Magic, which is book 1 in the Eldest Curses, back in May for the Asian Readathon, and loved it so much. I read it in like a day. It brought me so much joy, and then I got to read book 2 and it was so good. Basically, this is, I think it's going to be a trilogy. This is book 2, and they follow Alec and Magnus on adventures that take place in the existing Shadowhunters timeline. I mean, granted, that spans like 400 years, so obviously it would have to take place in the existing Shadowhunters timeline, but basically what I mean is book 1 takes place either between the 2nd and 3rd or 3rd and 4th Shadowhunter books, the Mortal Instruments books, I mean. In those books it's just said that like Alec and Magnus went on a trip to Europe. It's like very early days in their relationship, and they've gone on holiday together, and then in the book we get to see what happened to them while they were on holiday. And to be honest, the thing that was missing from the Mortal Instruments for me was more Malik content. They were always my favourite. I was like super into Alec and Jace. I mean, yes, I'm super into Alec and Jace. No, but I was very into Clary and Jace when I started reading the TMI books. But then by the end of it, I was kind of like, so much angst. Can you guys just like sort your shit out? And I was just there for Alec and Magnus. I think I even remember reading the 6th book because I wanted to know what happened to Alec and Magnus. By that point, I was kind of already over the series, and I was like, I just want to know if they end up together and happy. So 2 little words of warning, I guess. 1, they're not the best books. They're not the best. I think that the writing leaves something to be desired, and it feels hella fan servicey. And you know what? I'm okay with that. They're super enjoyable. I've had a lot of fun reading both books, so I don't really mind that they're not like the best written because I found them so enjoyable. And also, I am the fan being serviced. These are the 2 characters that I care most about in this world. Yeah, I'm enjoying these books that focus just on them and just like them being together and them being happy and them being cute and like the domestic moments. Just so good. But it's still a Shadowhunter book, you know. There are demons, there are warlocks, there are princes of hell trying to break their way into the world. It's a good time. It's really is a good time. Would recommend if you're a fan of the Shadowhunter series, and if you're a fan of Alec and Magnus. Yes, the thing that I was going to say also is, so I have only read the Mortal Instruments, and that was a very long time ago, and I don't currently have that much interest in exploring the other Shadowhunter series. I'm sure I will at some point, but I also know that I'll probably end up getting addicted and just reading everything like in one fell swoop, and I don't have the time currently to dedicate that much of my life to one author. So yeah, I haven't explored the other Shadowhunter series, and you don't have to. So I had absolutely no trouble following this book, despite the fact that I haven't read the Bane Chronicles and I haven't read Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy both of which contain information that is referenced in this book, but they do provide enough backstory in the book that, like, at no point did I feel confused or lost or like I didn't have enough information. However, that being said, you are going to get pretty massive spoilers. Like I said, I don't have that much interest in reading the rest of the Shadowhunter world, so I really was okay with getting spoilers, but if you are wary of spoilers for this universe, then there are some guides online that tell you what order you should read the Shadowhunter books in and like where this new book will fit in, and would recommend that you check those out first, just so that you don't end up giving yourself a massive spoiler. But I have already read this, loved it so much, 10 out of 10, would recommend, so good. Okay, then we're on to some of the adult books that they've sent me. First up, we have Catherine Howard, The Tainted Queen, which is book 5 in the 6 Tudor Queen series by Alison Weir. I have been intrigued by this series for a while. I really enjoyed watching The Tudors, and I have read The Other Boleyn Girl and really enjoyed that, so I figure more Tudors is a good place for me to start with trying to read more historical fiction. Not gonna lie, Catherine, not my fave of the wives from the Tudors, but also they were trying, I think, to construct like quite a specific narrative, and I'm sure that there's a lot more to her character than they portrayed in the show. For example, Catherine's song from 6, the musical, one of my faves, so yeah, definitely I'm interested to find out a bit more about her. And thus, I haven't read the first 4 books in the series, but I'm just gonna go into it kind of blind, because I mean, each book follows a different wife, so I don't think you like desperately need to read them in order. So I'm just gonna dive into it, see how things go. Alison Weir is like a legit historian. She's not just someone who was like, I want to write about people in pretty dresses. So I would imagine that her novels are fairly historically accurate, and yeah, I'm keen to give this one a go. And then they very kindly sent me Tower of Fools by Andrzej Sapkowski. This is the first book in a new trilogy. He is obviously the person that wrote the Witcher books, and I am very, very excited to get to this. Not sure I can remember the synopsis, so I'm just going to read the back of the book to you. Reinmar of Bilawa, sometimes known as Reindeer, is a doctor, a magician, and according to some, a charlatan. Discovered in bed with the wife of a highborn knight, he must flee his normal life, but his journeys will lead him into a part of Europe which will be overtaken by chaos. Religious tension between Hussite and Catholic countries is threatening to turn into war. Pursued not only by the affronted Stercher brothers, bent on vengeance, but also by the Holy Inquisition, and with strange mystical forces gathering in the shadows, Reindeer finds himself in the Naranturm, the Tower of Fools. The tower is an asylum for the mad, or for those who dare to think differently and challenge the prevailing order. But can Reindeer escape the tower and avoid being drawn into the conflict around him without losing his own mind? We have magic, we have religious warfare, we have people in asylums. All round, I'm pretty damn excited to read this book. It's chunky, but I think it's gonna be a good time. Then we have Murder on Mystique by Anne Glenconner. I'm not sure if Lady in Waiting was the sort of book that actually reached like my sphere of BookTube, so I don't know how many of you will know who she is, but she was Princess Margaret's Lady in Waiting for many years, and then she wrote a book last year called Lady in Waiting, which was her memoir and, you know, all about her time waiting on Princess Margaret. That is important to know going into this book, because the main character, for many years, was the Lady in Waiting to Princess Margaret, like Lady Glenconner. Also, like Lady Glenconner, her husband bought the private island Mystique. And also, like Lady Glenconner, her name is Veronica. Well, no, I mean Veronica is Lady Glenconner's second name, but yeah. So the main character in this book has been very, very, very clearly based on her. And basically, her goddaughter is staying on Mystique at the moment, and her friend goes missing, and she calls her godmother, Lady Veronica, and is like quite clearly upset about this, understandably. And Lady Veronica hops on a plane, dashes off to Mystique, and so Lady Veronica dashes off to Mystique to help Lily in this difficult time. She knows all of the island's secrets, she knows all its inhabitants, she knows all its hiding places, and she can keep a cool head in a crisis, so naturally she inserts herself directly into the investigation, much to the frustration of Detective Solomon Nile, who is the only police officer on the island who is trying to investigate this disappearance. I have started reading this book, and I have many feelings, but I should have a reading vlog out fairly soon that details them, because wow, just wow. But it has a very pretty cover. Then we have two books that I don't actually remember requesting. One of them I possibly requested, but the other one I definitely don't think that I would have. So the first one is You Exist Too Much by Zaina Arafat. So this is a coming of age story told in vignettes that flash between the US and the Middle East, and it follows our protagonist as she goes from an adolescent to adulthood and is trying to come to terms with who she is and what she believes about the world and her place in the world. And I think it'll be a very interesting and enlightening read. I think I like the idea of the narrative structure, so if I did request it, I think that would have been the thing that appealed about it to me. And then we have the one that I'm like 99% sure that I did not request. At least I 100% didn't request it intentionally, and that is Scar Tissue by Ollie Ollerton, which is an SAS book. He's written 2 memoirs about like his time in the SAS, but this is his first novel, and like he is extremely popular. Like his memoirs are very, very popular, and I've heard are very, very good. You know, I'm sure like him taking his real world experiences and translating them into fiction, it's probably going to be like a really interesting read, but it's just not my kind of thing at all. It's an ex-military soldier whose son has gone missing in the military, and now he's gone to Baghdad to try to find him, and it is just not something that I would normally read at all, but I'm gonna give it a try, and who knows, maybe we discover a new thing about me. Maybe I'm really into like special forces war books. It could happen. So I think this is going to be an interesting one. So that's pretty much it on the Jonathan Ball books. I have one more, but I'm saving the best for last, and we'll come back there in a second. Then we have Channel Kindness by Lady Gaga, which was very kindly gifted to me by our Pan Macmillan children's rep, Fran. This arrived at work one day and she had arranged for it to be sent to me, and I'm so excited about it. This is Stories of Kindness and Community. So in my mind, this is kind of like a Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls kind of vibe, where the focus is on kindness and community, and by like normal people, not like famous people necessarily. So all of the people sharing stories in this book are Born This Way Foundation reporters, which is the charity that she set up to protect, I think, largely LGBTQ+. Oh no, it's a non-profit dedicated to empowering youth, embracing differences and inspiring kindness and bravery. I know they do focus a lot on LGBTQ+ issues, but also apparently mental health, body image issues, HIV/AIDS awareness. Yeah, so all the people sharing their stories are from the Born This Way Foundation, and then so they'll share like their story of how kindness changed their life or changed the life of someone around them, and then Lady Gaga will give a little like reflection on the story as well. And I'm very excited to dip in and out of this. I think it'll be a fun one to just, not a fun one, like an interesting one to, yeah, just dip in and out of periodically, read a couple of people's stories. I'm a big believer in the power of kindness. I don't think I'm very good at practicing it, but I'm a big believer in it. So I think this is just gonna give me like all the warm and fuzzy feelings and make me believe in the good in the world again, which I think is a feeling that I really desperately need at the moment. Then yesterday, Vicky, who is our lovely Pambili rep, came in to visit us and brought us Christmas presents. So from her, I got the Sherlock Holmes casebook, which is these gorgeous Arcturus editions. I absolutely adore these. I have this now. I have an Oscar Wilde collection, I have the Canterbury Tales, and is the last one Inferno? I think the last one I have is the Inferno? No, Paradise Lost. So I have Paradise Lost, Canterbury Tales, Sherlock Holmes now, and Oscar Wilde. And they're just gorgeous. They come in these slipcases, which are really beautiful, and then the front covers are always like embossed, and then they have really great illustrations throughout. So yeah, these Arcturus editions of classics are just gorgeous, and considering what they are, they're really affordable. So I think these retail for around 300 rand, 400 rand. In South Africa they're £20 according to the like little UK sticker, which I mean, yeah, is more than you're gonna pay for a classic normally, but like for a hardcover in a slipcase, large format illustrated book, like they're really not expensive. Arcturus does really affordable and really lovely editions of everything. Like even their paperbacks are so lovely, and like 90 rand. So I'm a big fan of Arcturus Publishing, big fan of this lovely edition of Sherlock Holmes. I had the choice between this and the Odyssey, and I was very tempted to go with the Odyssey, but I do already have a really nice hardcover edition of the Iliad and the Odyssey combined, so I thought I would go for this because I don't really have like a nice edition of Sherlock. So excited to give this one a read. And then I did say I would save the best for last. So this was the last book in the box of goodies that I got from Varushka, our Jonathan Ball rep, and I'm just gonna let it speak for itself. Okay, it's a Jingle Bells board book, right? It's a Christmas board book. I love Christmas. It's exciting times, yeah. You're probably like thinking that's all nice, but like, Kelly, we don't care about board books. Wait. Where's the last one? Where is my... It's so magical! We have the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in this edition as well, and if you think I am not going to wear this thing out on Christmas Day, you do not know me well enough. So that is my absolutely enormous book haul. I mean, it's not that big, is it? I've been seeing people do hauls recently of like 30 to 60 books. This is a lot for me. I haven't done a book haul since January. I haven't really been intending to do, or no, not January, May, March, whenever lockdown was. I haven't done a book haul since the beginning of lockdown, and at that time I was like, I'm trying not to really accumulate that many books. So yeah, I haven't bought any books this year, I don't think. I bought one. Yes, I bought Nevermore recently because my my edition got really badly water damaged, and I wanted to get it in the trade paperback so that it matches my editions of Wondersmith and Hollowpox. So Nevermore is the only book that I've bought this year. Everything else that I've accumulated has been gifted. So yeah, that's my book haul. It's big for me. I don't know where I'm going to put all of these books, but I am very excited to read all of them, most of them. I'm still hesitant about the Ollie Ollerton, but I'm gonna give it a good college try. So that's going to be it from me for today. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, if there are any that I should prioritise, either because you really loved them or because you would like to hear my thoughts on them and see a review of them so that you can decide if you should buy it. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy it, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot, and that way you can see more of my face. In the description you'll find links to all of my other social media. That's my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Goodreads, my blog as well. You'll find a link to my online store and to my Redbubble store. You'll also find links to my Patreon and my Ko-fi accounts if you would like to support me on either of those. And I shall see you all again very soon. Bye!
My life is grounded in a firmer